Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. Tonight we are back with a brand new review of Married at First Sight, Season 13, Episode 8. Child, let's get into it if we gon' get into it. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade. If you are back for a second or third time, then welcome back, child. Welcome to the Maths Mess, okay? We're about to get into it as we get into it, honey. Season 13 is heating up just a little bit, okay? And now it's time to talk about it. Let's go. When the episode first opens up, we're on day 11 of marriage. We see like the little montage. Y'all know how they do in the beginning. Rachel and her alarms are getting ready for the gym. Jose still in there sleeping. Johnny and Bao looking like a couple. For the time being. She said, I can see that he's trying. Okay, girl. Anywho, Mirla and Gil. He did a fire truck pop-up on her, and I thought that was so cute. I was like, okay, girl, you better see your man in his uniform at work. I love it. Rachel and Jose. So they go to the gardens, right? To the botanicals of it all to try to find a plant so that they can plant something in the garden to watch it grow like their marriage. Now, we all know this is Joseing again, okay? Because this sounds like something he will come up with. So they get to the place and they're looking for the flowers, right? He's like, let's get cilantro or chili so we can make salsa when the family comes over. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, what about kale? He's still finding whatever he wants. Well, what about this? He's still looking at whatever he wants. Well, what about ebony and ivory? Like, she looking for anything, honey. And Jose is not paying any attention. So then finally she picks up an herb that he wants. And she was like, oh, here's thyme. He's like, I don't really know about thyme. Maybe. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. Jose, oh my goodness. So Rachel shows him her choices. Of course, he shut them all the way down. So in the end, they chose exactly what he wanted. So here's Rachel. She's like, my husband is the cook, so I just let him choose. Child, Jose even choosing what plants they gonna get. Child, this is a mess. But honey, if you like it, I love it. Moving forward, Zack and Michaela. Zack is sitting with his friend, right? And Zack is like, my energy is off. Well, honey, of course. Like, I would assume that it is. She accosted a pack of Lysol wipes. Honey, do you know how hard those are to come by? Of course you feel your energy's a little shifted. Child could potentially expose you to something. You just got over COVID. Child, I know I'm just being silly. But seriously, I can understand why your energy is off. And we're going to get into it as we get into it. So he's visiting with his friend Jerron, right? And they're talking. They're sitting at the table and they're talking. They're having a very mature conversation. And I was thinking to myself, was I this mature at 27? I think not. Child, I was doing whatever I wanted to do whenever I wanted to do it, honey. I said what I said and I ain't changing it. But now at 38, I'm much more mature. I'm capable of holding an adult conversation, okay, in a calm manner, speaking to my man respectfully, honey, to give the judge that needs to be given, okay? It's all in the way that you say it. Now, Michaela, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. What you need to do with a man like Zack, because he's sensitive, okay? He crochets, he makes lotions for the ash of it and all. This is what you really need to do. I see a lot of people saying he's not dominant enough. Some men, they want balance. Okay. It's not always about, I am man, you are woman. This is not the caveman days. Okay. He needs balance. So what you need to do is figure out a way to get your point across, frustrated or not, without losing your mind. Okay. Now let's continue. So they're talking or whatever, and they're talking about the marriage. And he tells his friend, he's like, I saw some red flags, honey, and did. And now I'm a little bit nervous, honey, as you should be. His biggest issue is the way that she handles things, right? So he starts explaining how he and the codependent dog were gone when Michaela woke up. Child, that is so funny to me because every time I think about him saying he had to put the dog to sleep, Zack, I don't know if you said that incorrectly. I don't know what is happening. But the fact that this dog has to be put to sleep, child, if you don't usher him into a room and let him get in that doggy bed and stretch out, oh no, sir. So anywho, he starts explaining how he and the codependent dog were gone when Michaela woke up. But she was so adamant about not being woken up, so he didn't understand it, right? He said he left at 7 a.m. At the time. He didn't realize she was mad, and then all of a sudden she just moved out. And so after their meeting with Pastor Cal, they talked. He thought everything was on the up and up, okay? He thought that they had reconciled. Only to find out that she wanted to cancel the whole housewarming party. So they smoothed everything over, or so he thought. Next thing he knows, she's like, I'm not coming to it. I'm not coming to the housewarming party at all. It's canceled. Okay, it's giving very much instability. And I'm sorry, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. I went in on Chris last season of Maths because he was mistreating Paige. And a man can be mistreated as well. And I don't want us to forget that. Okay? I'm not saying that he's all the way right and she's all the way wrong. What I'm saying is we have to call a spade a spade. Okay? What we're looking at for these 2 hours is Michaela acting out. Now, she did try to rectify the situation toward the end, but we got to work with what's given. Okay? And right now, honey, she's acting a fool. What I'm trying to figure out is what transpired to make her upset all over again. That's what I'm really trying to figure out. So, Michaela, what is happening, honey? I mean, girl, what is going on? So, Jerron was basically saying Zack has a fairy tale expectation, but in real life, he has to be a bit more patient and realistic. Okay, for the voice of reason? Yes, Jerron, I love it. But friend, honey, it's been 5 minutes. The flags are waving. Okay, they're waving. He wanted a romance novel, but they're living more of a Stephen King type thing. It's giving very much it. Okay, I'm just saying. So Zack said, I understand that. But if this is happening this early on with a minor situation, he's like, I've had to deal with this in the past. The loud, confrontational girlfriend, that's not good in any relationship. And I'm trying to stay away from that. Okay, I can understand that. I can respect him not wanting to be cussed out and to be spoken to like a human being. I can respect that. Michaela may be used to guys that put up with all that rah-rah, but some men actually want to verbalize their feelings in a rational way. That's all I'm saying to y'all, honey. And Zack, let that codependent dog Millie rock himself to sleep, and you go and get in the bed with your wife, okay? And Michaela, stop screaming like a banshee, okay? And just tell him what you require from him. There's no need to get up in arms, honey. It's okay. He's willing to listen to you. So it's okay to let your guard down just a little bit and listen to what he has to say. Okay, that way the two of you can communicate a lot better. And it's the way that you're communicating. It's not that you're not communicating, honey, because y'all saying something. Communication is communication, whether it's good or bad. It's about the way that you are doing it. So if you just stop for a second, honey, push your knotless braids back up out your face, get yourself together, and stop acting up, honey. This is some foolishness. The experts have done it again, child. He's the calm to her storm doesn't always work. Moving forward. Jerron asked if he thought Michaela could get, away from what she's been doing. He said, I don't know, but I hope so. And I'm not going to feel bad that I don't want that. And you shouldn't feel bad, because if the roles were reversed, it would be a huge deal. Everybody would be all up in arms. Did you see how he's violent? He slammed down those wipes. We got to keep that same energy. Okay, I'm unbiased over here on this channel. I'm going to give it to you straight, no chaser. Some weeks it's going to be for her. Some weeks it's going to be for him. Some weeks it's going to be for Mirla's greasy hair. Some weeks it's going to be for Gil's bald head. Some weeks it's going to be for Hosean. Some weeks it's going to be for Rachel acting oblivious. Rachel, wake up, honey. Some weeks it's going to be for Bao not taking a bath. And some weeks it's going to be for Johnny for being inside of his head and acting as anal as he want to be. Okay, they all going to get this smoke. So don't think I'm just taking one person's side. But honey, we got to get into it as we get into it. So anywho, he was saying that he hopes that she can get past it, but he doesn't know. And he doesn't feel bad, honey. He said what he said and he ain't changing it. Let me just say this. Let's just give Michaela the benefit of the doubt. Okay, this once. But Michaela, honey, use your big girl words. You wanted a husband and you got one. Okay, so you're going to have to get yourself together. Mirla and Gil, they're talking about the budget, right? Child, it was getting good on this part. And Gil said, the finances are a touchy subject for anyone, even if they do have a lot of money. He said he's more particular about where his money goes. So then they start talking, right? He's like, how much do you spend on groceries? She's like, I don't know, honey. Probably not much, honey. She got to buy those consignment shoes. She ain't spending that much on groceries, child. He's like, well, how do you not know that? I spend $150 like every 3 weeks. Okay, you spend $150 every 3 weeks, but you probably eat at home more than she does. Mirla doesn't strike me as the type that comes home every day and cooks a home-cooked meal. She seems like the type that eats at restaurants. That's just my perception of her. So, and then your grocery budget, without a family or without kids, you just fly by the seat of your pants. One day you want salmon, the next day you want to eat somewhere out. You don't want to cook for one. Cooking for one is lonely, okay? And it makes you realize you ain't got nobody. So for me, I didn't think it was a red flag that she didn't understand or know how much she spent on groceries. Sometimes you just don't know. But then she's like, I spent $60, $110, $230. Girl, what are you buying for $230 for one person? It's got to be organic. Mirla, stay out that Whole Foods and try Kroger's or HEB even, honey. Girl, not $230 for one person. He said, I'm curious how much for those lashes. She said, it's irrelevant. I know that's right. Let me tell you something. If you just watch the comedic timing of this cast, honey, they give me a Jacob joke of the day every episode. And y'all know I love me some Jacob. Shout out to season 12. But yes, when she said very relevant, I cackled because I thought that was so funny. Gil, let her have those lashes, honey. The last thing we need is for Mirla's hair to be laying high as land, real flat and greasy, and her being bald about the eyes. Oh, no, sir, honey. Please let her have those lashes. Moving forward. She said, she doesn't shop every month. She pays off her credit cards every month, though, because she doesn't want to carry any debt. I'm like, okay, Mirla, I like that. He said, okay, let's get to the good stuff. The bank accounts. Now, honey, he really thought he was doing something with this, honey, but we're going to soon see that bubble will be bursting. So she pulls out hers, right? And she's like, here's mine. He said, oh, okay. That's a legit savings. Yes, honey. So now please stop behaving like she wears her entire check. Okay. She's also responsible enough to save. So then he was like, yeah, this is mine, but, see the way everything is going, I'm enrolled with my 401k. So it's like all together. Savings and 401k is totally separate, Gil, honey. It's looking like you're pulling a stunt. Okay. Like you're going to have to separate those funds, honey. Like one is not like the other. 401k is for you at the end. I mean, you can pull from your 401k if you want to, but I mean, you need to have a separate savings as well. But we're going to get into it as we get into it. So he pulls his out, and I'm sure it was looking like it had less zeros, and that's okay. But I mean, it should have humbled you because now you understand that, of course, Mirla does spend her money on things that she enjoys, but at the same time, she's being responsible with her money. So I don't see it as a problem. And that's just me. And child, I was thinking, not him giving a disclaimer before he showed her that account. He said, me and Mirla, we're like in a totally different tax bracket. Well, honey, it's looking like. He's like, I don't have it all here because some of it is in Colombia. She was like, oh, okay, but you can still pull from it, right? Wrong. Child, he ain't got no savings over there. Child, I am not buying it. I'm sure he is helping to take care of his family back home, but I don't know if he just got Swiss bank accounts and whatnot. Child, please. He's like, yeah, let me write it down. This is how much I have. Let me write it down. Child, not you writing down a random number. Child, I'm not about to play with Gil. He's like, I've been sitting that over there since I was 22, and it started off a little slow. So then here go Mirla. The retirement's going slow too. Oh my God. These two. Oh my goodness. Child, this is a mess. So then they come to the conclusion with those numbers that they will have to wait while they, get themselves together to buy a home. Mirla, stop playing shop till you drop so y'all can come together and get you a nice home. And get that money from over there in the Swiss Alps or wherever it is, Gil, and bring it on back to the States. Moving forward, Brett and Ryan. Ryan is getting his endorphins going at the gym, honey, while Brett is at home popping champagne. So he's with his friend Fernando, right? He said, there's a lot of high stress things going on. Well, child, you look stressed. You look like you're going through some things. Child, and wear Ryan out. He was like, but I'm still just as excited as I ever was. Now, Ryan, you got one facial expression, and child, we don't know. Okay, it's your facial expressions are like Texas. We have one season, you have one facial expression. Child, we don't know if it's winter, spring, summer, or fall. Child, we wearing tank tops in December. But anywho, that's just a side note. He said that nothing was forced, so that's good to hear. So Brett is at home having a mimosa, spilling all the tea to her friend. She was like, yeah, the honeymoon was awesome. Ryan on the other side, we're very different. She's not a traveler. She's very high strung, high anxiety, and I'm more carefree. You do give very much. I had a tranquilizer. You give very much that. Ryan gonna look unbothered if he don't do nothing else. Do y'all hear me? And he was like, yeah, she really had high anxiety when we were kayaking and we were flying. Honey, Brett is scared of everything, child. Everything. On the other side, Brett is telling her friend, I did the activity with Ryan because, I really care for him. Well, that's awesome, Brett. At least she tried it, child. Side note. Okay, Brett is so pretty to me. I just wish her name wasn't Brett, because every time I get ready to do their segment, I want to call her Ryan, and it's really Brett. It's like the names is just really getting me all thrown off because I'm used to men being named Brett. So every time I say her name, I feel like I'm really supposed to be talking about Ryan, but why would I call Brett Ryan? Child, it's just a mess. Okay. But anywho, that's just a side note. She said, she's very attracted to Ryan. He's like an action figure. Then Lifetime does this slow motion of Ryan in all his glory. I was like, not Ryan slow motion on the beach. And she was like, yeah, he's like Baywatch. I'm like, oh, okay. He's giving the David Hasselhoff of it all. Brett, you better stand your man, honey. Moving forward. Johnny and Bao. She's meeting up with her friend How or Hugh. I don't really know how to pronounce it, but she's meeting up with her friend. And she's like, my husband, Johnny Lamb. I look over and I realize I'm married to Johnny Lamb. Girl, not his whole government name. Oh, she love it. Baby, you would have thought Johnny was Beyonce. The way she kept saying, Johnny Lamb. I'm married to Johnny Lamb. I've always liked Johnny Lamb. I'm like, all right, Bao, honey. You know what? When all this first started, I thought Bao was going to be my problem child. But Johnny, okay, Bao is all in. Drop those walls, get out of your head, stop having those deep conversations before bed, and figure out how to use that book that her friend gave you, okay? That's what you need to be getting to when you get into bed. Not all these deep conversations right before sleep. It disrupts your sleep and your peace. Don't have those tough conversations before you go to bed. Child, I just want to tell you that. She kept saying that. She's like, it's so bizarre to me that we're actually married now. So the friend thought, she wasn't going to like the fact that she knew him because he thought she wasn't going to appreciate the process. So Bao said, when I saw him, I thought about all of his college traits, how he was the party boy, the frat boy, the bro. I was thinking of all things negative. But she said, then I started to feel positive about it, but there is a disconnect between what he wants and what he demonstrates. Yes, Johnny gives mixed signals. Honey, that's just point blank in the period. So she's telling her friend about it and how Johnny ran for the hills when they got home because he needed to reset. Bao said, I didn't need to do no freaking reset. I'm like, I know that's right, Bao. But honey, she ain't say freaking, honey. She put a little cuss word in there. I know that's right, Bao. Bao has had enough. Moving forward. The girls and guys meet up, right, at this deserted bar in the middle of the day. And they start talking about their housewarming parties, right? So Jose was like, yeah, we're doing a Mexican theme. Mirla on the other side, she was like, y'all know I love brunch, so I'm ordering from Lucille's. And Bao said, yeah, we're doing like an island theme because we went to an island. Mirla said, Bao, honey, let me stop you right there. We did not go to an island, okay? I know that's right. Let me tell y'all something. You have got to love the fact that Mirla gonna say what she gonna say, honey, and she gonna speak her speech and pipe up no matter what they feel about it, okay? And I'm with you. Y'all ain't go to no island, girl. Honey, what is wrong with you? Bao got a little geography problem. But Bao said, it's not Hawaii, but it was islandy. I guess she appreciated the child. Well, honey, it was free. Oh, Bao trying to recreate the honeymoon. Child, just don't put that big old pink shirt on that Johnny brought you all wrinkled up. Moving forward. Ryan looked over at Zack. He's like, you gonna like my deal. I'm getting some boudin from Lake Charles and some frozen daiquiris. The real frozen daiquiris. Well, let me tell you this, Ryan. I'm coming and I'm bringing the ice. Because let me tell y'all something. I love me some boudin, okay? And every time we go to New Orleans, I always have to stop off the beaten path and get the good stuff. I'm talking about the stuff in the real Louisiana, okay? Not the stuff they be selling in the grocery stores or whatever, these meat markets or whatever they doing around here. I'm talking about the good stuff. And for those of you who don't know what boudin is, it is like a Cajun, it could be spicy or sometimes just a Cajun rice. And it's in an encasing that looks like a sausage link. But you crack that thing down the middle and eat it with some chips or you eat it with some crackers. Me personally, I eat mine with Doritos. I'm just hood a little bit. Moving forward. Ryan said, okay, so the tough questions. Married life, is it what you expected? Child, Zack was looking like, bro, please get me out of here. Zack had his head down like, I'm not answering that question. Zack, honey, blink twice if you need help. No, I'm just kidding. So Jose starts Joseing again, child. And he has to let everyone know and think that he and Rachel are perfect. Child, if this ain't Eric 2.0, I'll give you $1. He's like, it's perfect. We really have this great chemistry and we can't keep our hands off of each other. So y'all know Zack wasn't on the honeymoon. So Gil gonna say, so then Gil said, yeah, they were kissing. You weren't there. And if she were here right now, they would have already kissed 10 times. And Gil, don't be salty, honey. We know you ain't getting no kisses. So then they show all that kissing that him and Rachel do. Jose doing all that kissing to keep Rachel from asking for all those trips, honey, and you ain't fooling me. Can't ask to go to Japan if your lips are occupied. I'm just saying. Jose said, kissing you is all that I've been thinking of. Shout out to Total. Ryan is like, and then he feeds her. Don't forget he brushes her teeth, Ryan. Don't forget that. Don't forget he tried to brush her teeth and braid her hair. Child, he's a mess. On the other side, the ladies are asking about Michaela and Zack. And she's like, yeah, he's here. He's free of COVID. Honey, tell him about his codependent dog, sis. Tell him about his codependent dog. Child, I'm not going to let that go. She said, we're going through the vows early because we already have had sickness and in health, honey, and it's looking like till death do you part as well. She's like, but we're okay. Now, I understand you not wanting to put them in your business and whatnot because, everything ain't for everybody. So just nod and smile. And yes, we're doing fine. He's, past COVID. Everything's good. Moving forward. She said, yeah, we had an epic fight, but I'm not going to share that because we're still in it. I really feel bad for these two. This argument should not still be going on, honey. Y'all are going to have to communicate properly. This is just some foolishness. So the guys over on the other side, they're talking about the marriages, right? Ryan is like, she's cool, but she's still like a friend. Gil is like, yeah, we're there too. I still haven't gotten a kiss. Not even, I'm just getting pecks on the cheek. All the guys were looking like, now how Jose get kissed before you? Child, we all trying to figure it out, okay? So Zack was like, well, does that bother you? He was like, no. Here go Ryan. He lying. I know that's right, Ryan. I felt the same exact way. I said, boy, now you lying. And this is my thing, too. Ryan is my kind of dude because Gil is a bald head lie. How can that not bother you? You just sat up here and told Pastor Cal if she does not kiss you within these 7 weeks that you will be saying no on decision day, which means that her not kissing you is a problem, and that is okay to admit. I don't like the fact that she doesn't kiss me. Like, just say it. And I'm trying to figure out, how are the two of you going to buy a house and you have never been kissed? So Zack is like, well, it will probably bother you eventually. Honey, it already does. But I understand trying to save face. I understand that. So here go Ryan, Mrs. Self. Have you met with Pastor Cal yet? I know that's right, child, because he's trying to figure out... Ryan said, y'all need to bring in the big guns, honey, and figure out why he's not being kissed. So then Gil was like, yeah, he asked her a whole bunch of questions. And Ryan was like, yeah, I bet he really grilled her. No, he didn't do much because Drew Barrymore still has never been kissed. Moving forward. Over with the ladies, Brett is talking about, that she had a bet with Ryan for $5 about Mirla and Gil kissing, and they haven't kissed. So now he owes her $5, right? Mirla is like, nope. Mirla, that is not cute. Okay, that is not cute. He is your husband. Y'all live together. The honeymoon is over. It's time for a first kiss. It's one kiss, girl. And go in there and get some dry shampoo or something and wash your hair. Honey, I am sick of it. Oh my gosh. So Brett was like, I couldn't imagine not having kissed my husband at this point, honey, and neither could we. But child, it's just Mirla. So then they asked if anyone had consummated the marriage. And Michaela is like, that's confidential information. Child, that means yes. Over on the other side, Zack is like, Michaela's going to kill me. She's going to be mad about this. But yeah, we have. They were like, well, dang, you only been back 2 days. Child, they christened the Sheraton. What do you mean? Honey, they have already been getting into it as they get into it, both literally and figuratively. He's like, well, dang, were y'all wearing hazmat suits? Gil, pipe down, honey. Pipe down. So then they say, well, what about you, Johnny? He and Bow are going to give a dramatic answer if they don't do nothing else. So then he paused for like 2 minutes. Johnny, pipe up. He's like, it feels like I'm married to a friend. Well, honey, technically you are, because y'all knew each other in college and whatnot, and y'all were going to go to the museum and you ghosted her, but then you texted her, and I don't know what's happening. But technically you are married to a friend. But anywho, Gil over there smiling because he's not alone. Finally, somebody else on his little island. Oh, child, let me not let Mirla hear me calling it an island, child. She gonna have a fit. I don't want no problems, honey. I don't want no problems. So they said, well, do you think you've been friend zoned? Here he go. Well, I don't know. Johnny, you know that you have not been friend zoned. Okay. Ryan said, well, have you friend zoned her? Ryan, you are on fire tonight. Let me tell you something, because he definitely friend zoned Bow and her Minnie Mouse voice. He definitely did do that. So Johnny is like, she's making advances and I'm not reciprocating. Okay, then. So what are you talking about? Jose was like, but you're attracted to her, right? He's like, somewhat. Spit it out, Johnny. He's like, she's not my type. Not my type. Not my type. Shout out to Sweetie. So he's like, yeah, she has a body. She's cute. And then Gil was like, but are you attracted to her personality? Okay, so what is the problem, Johnny? Okay. I feel like you're looking for any excuse. He said, I'm attracted to a different type of personality. Gil said, I told Mirla straight up, if someone told me about you, there's no way that I would talk to you, but I'm happy. Boy, what? Now there's no way you'll talk to her, but you're happy. Oh, child. So Bow is over there talking on the other side about how Johnny has a checklist and everything has to go. What is with these men and these lists? Jose got a list. Johnny got a list. Jose should have been matched with Johnny. Child, this is just too much. Dr. Viviana comes on and says, we match the couples based on what they believe will be successful marriages. No, y'all match the couples based on who y'all believe will bring the drama. Girl, goodbye. So Zack is like, well, what if it doesn't work? Honey, because Zack needs some advice on the slick. He don't want to really say nothing and put the business out on Front Street, but he's trying to get them to say what needs to be said without actually saying it. I see you, Zack. So Gil was like, well, then it just doesn't work, but you at least have to try. That is some very good advice, Gil. So Johnny was like, I thought I was ready. This is him in his, little interview. He's like, but I'm not ready. And now I'm married to Bow and she's screwed because I'm screwed. And then he gets very emotional and he wonders if his expectations were too high. And did he sign up just to find the perfect wife, but to find out that she's not perfect? Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. But she perfect for you. Like, what are you, Johnny? Okay, I need all of y'all to stop it with the perfect. Okay, it's not going to work out that way. Child, this is getting on my nerves. Johnny, this is not a science experiment, honey. It's a marriage. You cannot flake on your marriage. Your nerves are getting too bad, honey. They're getting the best of you. You are so used to being able to do a trade in or a swipe up or a swipe right. Leave that woman alone, honey. It's going to be okay. Get out of your head and into your wife. Okay, that's what you need to do. Focus on the now. Be in the moment. Be present in the moment. You were all up in arms with Bow about not living in the moment, not having a good time and this and that. And every time I turn around, you're upset about something. Child, this is a mess. Day 12 of marriage, Mirla and Gil. Child, he gets home and he's like, I'm home. She's like, the dog almost came into the room and he slobbered on me and he slobbered on the floor. Here go, Gil. Okay, I will create a mechanism for him not to slobber on the floor. I'm like, what kind of mechanism are you going to create for him not to slobber on the floor? Child, it's just a mess. So anywho, so then he's like, so how was your meeting? And don't leave anything out. Tell me. I'm like, now he ready to get a tea, child. Oh, Gil a gossiping little man, honey. He's a gossiper. Okay, he couldn't wait to come home and spill the tea. Do y'all hear me? He's like, well, Johnny and Bow are having problems. Well, girl, tell me all the tea. Give it to me. And what else is going on? So Mirla's sitting there looking like, what? So he was like, yeah, we asked if he was attracted to her and it took him a while to answer. But, I told him he had to be happy that he couldn't settle. And it sounds like he's settling and he isn't happy. Honey, not you talking about settling when you know what? Never mind. I'm going to keep that to myself. Never mind. So then he starts talking about Bow may not be genuine behind closed doors. Gil, hush and worry about getting them funds up. Leave Bow alone. You don't know that lady. So please don't speak on their marriage, honey. Child, please. Moving forward. Mirla was like, are we going to talk to your mom today? Because, she didn't get to meet her at the wedding because she was in Colombia. So then they show us a message that she had given him at the wedding. And it was a really sweet moment. And, they FaceTime his mom and they start talking and she gets introduced to Mirla. This scene showed them as a couple in a different light. I like the fact that she was laughing. They were interacting with each other. And you know what? After tonight's episode, I'm not sure if Mirla and Gil would be good mates, but I think they would be really good friends. Like that would be somebody that she could count on, somebody she could talk to, somebody she could have there for her. I don't know. They might be friend zone. I mean, it's a thought. I think if Mirla stopped pretending to be J-Lo, honey, they could really make a go of it. Johnny and Bow. He said he feels like the other guys are more in sync with their wives. They are, but, so are you. Because you're singing, bye, 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 bye. Honey, every time she does something wrong to you. Charlotte's a fool. So they get in bed because, they're going to show them brushing their teeth. But this is what I think about every time they get in bed. Did they take a bath? Did they take a shower? Honey, did they take a wipe off? Something. Especially after they brought it to light that Bow doesn't necessarily like to, get in the shower before bed. So every time they lay it down, I'm always thinking about that. Child, just a side note. So she's like, what's wrong? He's like, I don't know where to start. Begin at the beginning, Johnny, and hurry it along, honey. We ain't got all day. So then he's like, it just hit me that, I was confused about what was wrong with me. And I know you're totally into me and I'm wondering why I only see the negative. And, what if I went in for the right reasons, but I'm just not ready? Johnny, you in these deep thoughts right before bed, honey, it's exhausting. It's just exhausting. So Bow was like, I have so many thoughts. So then he gonna say, well, you can just sleep on it. Sleep? In my soldier boy voice. Honey, ain't no way I could sleep when my husband just said he may or may not want to stay married to me. It's time for the housewarming parties. First up is Rachel and Jose. His family starts to arrive. He said he's excited to boast about their marriage. Honey, we know Jose. Rachel's friends come over, right? And I was wondering why her family didn't come, but y'all, that's just what I was thinking. So they tell them about the honeymoon, right? So then his stepmom said, well, were all your boxes checked off? He's like, oh, absolutely. Child, please. So then her friend was like, were there any disagreements, any discrepancies? Jose was like, well, yeah, the finances. You know, not to toot my own horn, but beep, beep. Jose, goodbye. He was like, you know, I have a house in Pearland. Jose, I had a house in Pearland as well, honey. And what else is going on? What does that mean? You having a house and all the things, that doesn't mean anything. Okay, that doesn't mean she's less than you, because maybe she likes to go on an excursion every now and again and she leaves her water jugs for a hurricane in the kitchen where they belong. Hey, it doesn't make any sense. So he's like, you know, she's a YOLO person and she's living like single Rachel, and you know, that's not a problem. Are you sure? Because it sure sounds like it is. So Rachel is like, you know, I'm taking him to Europe whether he likes it or not. Rachel, honey, I hate to break it to you, but the closest thing you gonna get to Europe is Paris, Texas. Shout out to Paris, Texas. Because, child, Jose is going to be Joseing till the day he die. Moving forward. This is what I feel. I feel like Jose is controlling and unable to see past the perfect picture that he painted for himself. You know, Jose talks about all of his accomplishments and all of this, and I really feel like Rachel is just an accessory sometimes. He had everything else, okay? Just go with me on this. He had everything else, his perfect picture, so all he needed was a wife to finish it. So insert Rachel. That is what I really feel like. So then he starts speaking like she's a teenager. She may see things on social media and she want to keep up with the Joneses. So, you know, I just said, let's get a joint account and we can do everything from there. And then whatever's left over, then, you know, that's what happened. Yes, you want to do that so you can monitor every single dime. I'm sorry, I'm just not for the joint account. I'm just not for the joint account of it all. I'm just sorry I'm not. So then he starts Joseing again, and his stepmom was like, I know he's a saver, but if he doesn't loosen up, that may be an issue, honey, and will be. So I turn around and Jose got that board. Jose, you done brought that whiteboard with you? Boy, I'm not about to play with you. Child, you got this whiteboard at the shared apartment. Child, I am done. So he pulls out the board, pointing out his perfect credit score, right? Showing out, honey. And her friend was looking at it. He's like, well, looking at that board, you really have your stuff together. We're not taking that from him. Yes, he does have his stuff together, but he needs to compromise as well. He should have been matched with Mirla. Child, I'm going to put them together. I'm going to put different people together throughout the season, so don't mind me. Moving forward, while he's talking, Rachel looking all down because, you know, it's got to be disheartening to hear that the things that you enjoy, your spouse is now telling you you can't have those things. Rachel, honey, speak your speech. Don't let Jose stop what you like to do. It can't be all about Jose. Yes, I understand you need to save, but also you can't forget to live. And honey, as short as life is and the way things have been going lately, you better travel, let your hair down, sing in the rain, honey, dance and kiss and do whatever else it is you're going to do. I'm just saying. So she was like, you know, I got married to share those experiences with someone, and I'm nervous about him being so dismissive about something that I'm passionate about. Rachel, listen to me. Don't lose your voice like you've done in the past, okay? Because you remember you said that in the past you've lost your voice. Jose is getting everything he wants. He brought that big gaudy board over there, but you don't even get to keep your pencils, girl. Honey, oh no, ma'am. So she goes into the bedroom to talk to the girls, and she's like, you know, I feel like I'm being restricted, honey, like an IG model wearing a waist trainer. Honey, can't even breathe without Jose calling the shots. Child is a fool. So his stepmom was like, well, you know, you got to make sure that he's not controlling the money 110%, because you're working too, and women need to feel some type of control. Yes. Okay, Rachel, don't give up all your control. Honey, I told y'all Jose gave controlling Johnny and Val. She's like, you know, I just really don't know how I feel about my marriage right now. Well, honey, neither do we. So the producers were like, are you stressed? Well, honey, duh. So then everybody starts to get there, right? So then her friend gives her a book and she's like, oh, I hope this is a relationship book and some relationship advice. And so her friend was like, actually it is. So Johnny pulls it out and it was called She Comes First, a book on pleasuring your woman. And so Bao was like, ooh, that's a good book. I really insist that he reads it. Y'all should have gotten a book for Bao on how to bathe, a guide to cleanliness. Bao, you're insisting he reads this. He can't even make up his mind if he wants to swipe left or right on the marriage yet. Child, let's get into that before we start talking about a book. So then Johnny goes, what is this fruit? And so they were like, it's a papaya, because it's supposed to be the woman's vagine. That's what the front of the book is supposed to mimic, right? So here go Johnny. Oh, I don't eat papaya. Johnny, let me find out you having vanilla sex and you don't eat papaya? Oh, no, sir, honey. Divorce. No, I'm just kidding. Baby, decision day is looking a mess. Do y'all hear me? But it might be because Bao was a bit tart, but I'm not sure. Moving forward. Bao was inside talking to the ladies, honey, same old, same old. She said the other couples are having petty fights where they're having deep conversations. Honey, y'all gonna do that if y'all don't do nothing else. Y'all gonna lay down, y'all gonna take deep breaths, y'all gonna look into each other's eyes, and y'all gonna have a deep conversation. Her cousin said, so do you feel like he's all in? Here's Bao. I feel like I'm 100% and I feel like he's like 90. Child, try 40. Johnny changes his mind like he changes those funky sheets y'all sleep on every day. So outside with the guys, Johnny is giving us his spiel saying, I'm 65% in. So they said, well, what's the other 35%? He's like, we need to get closer, more intimate. Johnny, Bao has tried to get more intimate. You don't accept her advances because of her childlike behavior at times. You remember that? So am I missing something? Editing, please give me what needs to be gave, honey, so I can make sense in these reviews because this is not making any sense to me. What are you and your Hawaii 5-0 shirt talking about, Johnny? Child, Johnny don't want to be married to Bao. I don't know what he want to do. I'm confused. Moving forward. Michaela and Zack. Michaela, your knotless braids are cute. Love your little polka dot Dalmatian type dress. But honey, we're about to get into it as we get into it. So she said, at first she didn't want to do the party. And then she had a change of heart after sleeping on it and said, I'll go ahead and do it. She's like, but once I saw my girls, that's all I needed. Honey, she's nuts. I'm sorry. She is nuts. Michaela, listen to me, child. You're going to have to get it together. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but it's just not looking good, sis. It's not looking good. And you were my fave, you and Johnny, and I'm still holding out hope. But I got to give it to you straight, okay? So don't be offended. Let's get into it as we get into it. Michaela, honey, it was a minor disagreement. Why were you still holding on to it to the point where you wanted to cancel the housewarming party? That is a part of the process. It's got to be more to it. So her and the ladies, they're like setting up, right? She's like, it's been 2 weeks and, we've really been going through a lot. Yeah, he had COVID for 10 days and he been fighting with you for 4 days. Of course y'all been going through a lot. She's like, it's really hard. She's like, yeah, but we're working at being better communicators. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay. So then she goes, he's neat, but he squeezes and crushes the toothpaste. So her friend was like, well, is he teachable? Honey, he's not a puppy. Okay. Michaela was like, well, I'm not trying to teach him. He's okay. Girl, you better accept your man the way he is. And please do not listen to people talking about, is he teachable? Girl, what are you saying? Child, I forgot to look and see if she had a ring on. Moving forward. Finally, Zack and his friend arrived. But y'all know what I noticed? He went straight to the friends without greeting Michaela first. And I was like, oh, child, it's still some trouble in paradise. I'm still sensing some tension. So then he hit her with a half hug. Oh, child. Y'all please shake this off. Especially in front of company. Her friends are like, I can't believe y'all are married. Zack was like, yeah, me either. Oh, child, this is some foolishness. So he's still on edge after how she behaved during that disagreement, right? So he and her friends go to talk privately. He wants to get their perspective because he wants to make sure that this is not a reoccurring thing because he really wants his marriage to work. So while he's in there, he was like, yeah, she's just canceling things last minute and having these outbursts. And I just want to know what causes that. Like, what's happening with that? Honey, she's spoiled, point blank, and the period. Honey, you should be asking her sisters this because they have the real tea. These friends ain't doing number line. So he's like, is this usual thing for her? Because I won't be able to deal with this. Here go her little lying friend, honey, because they got a little lying problem too. Her friend was like, well, it isn't her usual. She's pretty level-headed once she gains trust, but she needs to get better at communication. Honey, I'm not buying it. That is who she is. She was really giddy at the wedding, very charismatic, and she says one thing, but her behavior demonstrates another. So it's not about comfort. I'm not buying that. Honey, sell that to somebody who's buying it. No, thank you. So Jerron is outside talking to Michaela, and he really is level-headed. I like the fact that he gave both Michaela and Zack unbiased opinions. He wasn't, I'm Team Zack, so this is my friend and this is the way that you should be treated. He really tried to help Michaela understand the type of guy that Zack is so that they can make things work, honey, and get the zhuzh of it all back. So Jerron is outside talking to Michaela in her polka dot dress, and she's talking with some sense finally, and she's telling him, she shouldn't have had those vindictive outbursts, and she really wants her marriage to work, and she's going to work on that, honey, as you should. You two make a very handsome couple, but it's not all about looks. Y'all gonna have to talk to each other as well. So Jerron said, well, what about communication? She said, I bite my tongue and then I just do. When do, you just bite your tongue. Girl, what are you saying? What are y'all... Okay. What I want to know is, what are y'all fighting about in 2 weeks? It's been 2 weeks. Honey, if this is happening right now, just cut it. Fade to black. And let's just focus on the other couples. And when did you bite your tongue? I'm just so confused. I have so many questions. So he tells her, that Zack has some toxic relationships in the past where the partner hasn't communicated well. So when he sees the same thing happening with her, it's a red flag. So he said to her, when you talk to him differently. Sit down, talk to him calmly, express your frustrations, and say it respectfully. Yes, Jerron. Honey, I love me some Jerron. I might have to hook him up with my little sister. She's around that age range. Honey, I love it. He is really a nice guy. Basically, Zack needs you to talk to him nice, okay? Respect is all that is needed. That's all it boils down to. People argue, okay? That's a given. It's how you communicate your feelings that's really important. And if you need to take a beat to collect your thoughts, then do that. But you have to think about what you're saying before you just blurt it out. I'm telling you from experience, okay? Moving forward. Brett and Ryan. Ryan's charcuterie board is front and center. Nice job, Ryan. And the guests get there, but honey, I was looking for the boudin. I'm like, where the boudin at? Honey, I ain't see it. But anywho, that's just a side note. And, they do this toast, and Brett said, it's important that Ryan gets along with her friends. I'm sure he'll get along with them, right? So they all sit down and they realize that they're all a part of the married club. So Ryan is like, I could use some advice on this. So then her friend was like, happy wife, happy life. Girl, honey, that's cute, but it's really about hearing each other in the moments when you don't want to, okay? In the moments where you don't want to turn your listening ears on. That's what it's really all about, honey. The entire house has to be happy for the house to thrive, okay? And I had to learn that because you're just sitting around making the woman happy and then he's miserable and he's internalizing what's wrong with him and then he ends up like Zack, honey, about to explode. Oh, no, ma'am, but that was cute. So the drinks are flowing and the games are going. So then his friend said, tell me about the one that got away, Brett. And she said, there is no one that got away. I'm the one that got away. I know that's right, Brett. Girl, you better whip your hair back and forth. I know that's right, girl. She's like, it really feels good to see Ryan interacting with these people because I want to be around them all the time. Ryan was like, I don't want to be around them all the time. Baby, Ryan was like, them your people, okay? I do not want to see them 24 hours a day. I'm good on that. So her friend is like, well, is there anything you want to know? Of course, Ryan ain't got no questions, child. No questions, no further questions, Your Honor. Moving forward, Mirla and Gil. Their friends get there, and Gil's friend said, has there been any fights? And they were like, no. She was like, well, I didn't expect any because you're the female version of him. Lady, how much have you had to drink? Okay, these two are nothing alike. Okay, here we go. Let's run it down. Mirla, your account balance for the account ending in 123 is $49,756.23. Gil, your account balance for the account ending in 456 is $1.03. Mirla, I love spending. I love nice things. Gil, I hate a spender. Gil, I love this honeymoon. It's free. Mirla, I could have had a V8. Gil, kiss me through the phone. Kiss me through the phone. See you when I get home. Shout out to Soulja Boy. Mirla, you make me want to throw my pager out the window. Tell MCI to cut the phone pole. Break my lease so I can move. Cause you're a bugaboo, a bugaboo. Shout out to Destiny's Child. Child, these two are nothing alike. And I just ran it all down for you right here. Oh, and let's not forget she hates dogs and he loves them. Moving forward. Girl, Mirla said, She said, well, your temperaments are the same. Honey, not even. Child, you were just trying to break the silence, honey. I know you wanted the moment, honey, but this was a fool. Gil starts talking about that sardine can closet that Mirla has. He's so easily impressed, child. Gil was like, Gil, she has a small closet. It just looks like she has a lot because there's not a lot of room to work with. So they're having this fun little banter back and forth. I do like the playful banter between Mirla and Gil. I really do. I think these two may turn it around, but I'm just not sure. I'm not sure about anybody, okay? I'm just going as the episodes go on. Mirla has been complaining less, and they have a fun time giving each other a hard time, so I don't know. So then they start talking about the checking accounts and everything and how they had to look at each other's account, right? So her friend was like, are you okay with her keeping her lifestyle? What I'm trying to figure out is, what lifestyle is it? She buys brand names, okay? And what else is happening? What does she drive? Is she ever going to get that hair washed? Like, I'm trying to figure out why do y'all keep saying her lifestyle? Okay, I don't get it, honey. I think Gil is more so intimidated than he is concerned about her spending. That's just my thoughts on it. Those are my 2 cents. He's intimidated by everything Mirla, okay? And she complains a lot. So, I mean, there's that. And he just wants to make sure that he can stay up to speed, because I really do think that he really likes her. But at the same time, it's still up in the air. Mirla, also, you need to compromise, okay? That needs to be added to your vocabulary. You're giving very much childish, okay? You said you didn't want to change anything. Never, not never. You're never going to change your lifestyle. You're never going to change buying shoes and clothes and this and that. You really need to change that. So then they start talking about the kids. Child, let's just keep on going. So then her friend took him outside to find out why she's not kissing him. And her friend says she's probably moving slow because it may not last past 8 weeks. Honey, it is a kiss. A kiss. You do that after you exchange vows. You do that at the altar. That makes a person feel rejected if they're not even kissed. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So his friend is in the bedroom talking about their finances, and she's saying that the things that she wants, they require money, and they do. She wants a home because she doesn't want to live where he lives. Well, y'all and the dog won't fit in your place, honey, so you may be in a long distance marriage. I'm just saying. Day 14 of marriage. Johnny and Bao get in the bed. It's time for another serious conversation starring Johnny and Bao. Child, because they're going to have a serious conversation, child. So she's like, we made it to 2 weeks. He's like, congrats. Johnny, honey, is that all? Honey, it's not like she told you she lost 5 pounds. She's letting you know that your marriage survived 2 weeks. 2 weeks with the two of you. Child, this is a fool. So Johnny was like, today I felt really good. Lord, this roller coaster of emotions is wearing me out, honey. It is wearing me out. But I was like, yeah, I feel like you're really trying. He's like, as long as we can talk things out, all y'all do is talk. That's all y'all do. He's like, as long as we're patient and understanding, I really think that, we can work through the problems. Yeah, until the morning comes and you realize she didn't floss, honey, it's always going to be a problem. It's always going to be a problem. She's like, yes, I really believe that. Well, honey, I don't. Michaela and Zack, they're cleaning up after the party, right? So they're talking about, what happened, and she said he learned a lot about her. So she was like, yeah, I learned that you're a genuine person, which I already knew, and I took advantage of that with my behaviors, and I'm not used to someone being in it as much as I'm in it. So she admitted that she had an overreaction, right? Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, good job, Michaela, good job. You're owning it. Okay, let's see what happens. He said, so how do you think I feel? She said, I think you feel abandoned and you feel hurt. Like, I'm not 100% in, and like I'm not serious. So then he tells her that it was a big reaction to that small infraction. It didn't make any sense, and he's dealt with that before. She's like, I know, I messed up. He is now panicking because that reaction she had, it was a red flag. Okay, and in past relationships he's dealt with the same thing, and now his walls are up. But Zack, you're gonna have to allow for mistakes. It's been 2 weeks. Okay, just hear me out. Okay, he's like, it's not the communication, it's how you handle it. He said, I'm almost scared to tell you how I feel right now because I don't know if you'll blow up. Oh, child, it's giving unstable. So she starts looking at him sideways. And honey, I start getting a little nervous. Honey, I start getting a few heart palpitations, but I ain't want to say nothing. She's like, so how do you honestly feel right now? He said, I can't eat. I don't feel good. I had anxiety pulling up. I didn't want to come in, just to be honest. He said, I haven't had this type of anxiety since the wedding day. She said, I don't know how to resolve it. I know what I did, but this is what I want to know. How long before we are right again? She's like, do I need to continue to make it right? So he was like, you don't have to do ish to make it right. Now, Zack, okay? The same way I told her that that's not effective communication, that's not effective communication. You can't be cussing, honey, because once you cuss, once you nuck, then she gonna buck, okay? I'm just telling you. So you just keep, okay, use your nice words. Okay, there's no reason to say it that way. He's like, I don't know what we can do. And to me, that's okay. She said, but Zack, we're married. He said, yes, but we have a fundamental issue that is too big for me right now. Child, her response really triggered something in him. If you are in a space where you don't feel safe, then it's not going to work. Because nobody wants to walk on eggshells with their partner, waiting for the next bomb to go off, waiting for them to explode again. However, Zack, maybe you can just extend grace to her this time, okay, and allow her to show and prove, okay, because otherwise y'all might as well walk away now. So he's like, remember when we talked to Pastor Cal and I thought we reconciled, then you just canceled everything out of the blue? That affected me. So then she starts the waterworks. Honey, girl, cue the violins for the manipulation of it all. Child, please. And she was like, I don't really mean to cry right now. Not a tear fell, okay? And she was like, I didn't know it would affect you in this way. Had I known, I probably wouldn't have done it. But then again, I might have done it. Girl, what are you talking about? Okay, I'm going to tell you why you did it. You want some attention. That's why you did that. Her canceling made him feel like she wasn't all in and she would potentially pull the plug on other important things. She's not used to somebody like him. And even though he's younger, he's looking for communication and stability. Honey, that little petty game you playing, honey, that ain't going to work for him. Okay? He said what he said and he ain't changing it, honey. At the same time, y'all are married. Zack is going to be a lot of uncomfortable days. Okay? You can't completely shut all the way down. But if it's causing you to have anxiety, then maybe this may not be the marriage for you. Michaela, honey, you got to mature emotionally for you two to work. Because Zack is like, you better play Uno, but don't play with me. Honey, he is not for the foolishness, child. He's like, we just need to take a break. Are you staying here tonight? She's like, yeah. He's like, look, I don't really want to. And she was like, okay, that's fine. He said staying there would make him feel anxious and uncomfortable. Let me just tell y'all something, honey, and I'm going to end this review, child. I know it ran long. Growing up, I lived in a calm environment, okay? My parents were very loving. They've been together since they were in the 10th grade. Do y'all hear me? 10th grade. And they're still together today's date. Okay, so I went into my first marriage thinking that was going to happen for me. But he came from an environment that was completely the opposite. It was very volatile, very, dysfunctional. So every time we would get into a disagreement, he would explode. He would become extremely aggressive. Okay, I'm not calling Michaela aggressive, but I'm just saying that's what I dealt with. He would become aggressive in his speech. His mannerisms were very intimidating, and I was always anxious to the point I wanted to throw up. So I understand exactly how Zack feels. I didn't even want to walk around the house because I'm just like, oh my God, if I say the wrong thing, he's just going to explode. Honey, I understand his anxiety. In my case, he never changed, honey, but you never know what could happen in their case. And child, that was the end of the episode. Oh man, I do not know how things are going to go from here, but it's looking like things are picking up. Please comment down below and tell me exactly how you felt after this recap or after watching the episode so we can get into it as we get into it. Don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you get anything out of the content, hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.